So my thought is like this, right? When I think about Deion leaving the beauty of the SWAC and Jackson State and everything else and going to a place like Colorado, all they got is money. They don't got no they don't have no they don't have good players. The program is in the dirt. Now you're competing at a different level. You're competing against schools that have resources and talent. You ain't got that. Now, maybe you can get talent. Maybe in 2-3 years you can recruit the team that you want. It's a possibility. But it almost makes me think about like a guy who's dating like this beautiful black woman in the hood. And he says, hey, I know you thought I was going to marry you, but that's never what it was. I never proposed to you because I really didn't want to marry you. I'm going to go marry this rich, ugly, fat white woman in the suburbs. Like that's the one I really wanted to marry. I wanted to marry the rich, fat, ugly white woman in the suburbs. And I know you're gorgeous, but you live in the hood. I don't want to be in the hood with you. Like being in the hood is hard and there's no money. I want to go be next to Big Becky out in the suburbs because Big Becky has a big bank account and she's gonna take good care of me. She's gonna buy me a house in a Bentley. But seriously, what's wrong with why is that analogy wrong? Why do I think about this? Process it this way. If you took away the money, would anybody in this chat give me a yes or no in the chat? Everybody give me a yes or no. With Colorado being 1-11, if you take away the money, would anybody in this chat choose to coach at Colorado over Jackson State? Who in the chat? Give me a yes or no. Is there anybody in this chat that would choose Colorado over Jackson if you take away the money? So this is what I'm getting at. Like, because I'm a money guy. I think about the money. I see the money. All these white folks really got is money. That's it. That's it. They ain't got what we got. They ain't got the melanated power that we have. They don't have, he ain't gonna have the same experience at Colorado that he get at Jackson State. And so like there's nobody in the right mind that would take that job if you take the money away. So again, I compare it to like I'm dating the most beautiful. I'm dating Shaniqua, the finest girl in the hood. She got all them curves and she got those thick, sexy lips, and she loves the hell out of me. But unfortunately, she lives in a neighborhood where maybe somebody gets shot, once every couple of weeks, or we're struggling to get the groceries or whatever. So I tell her, hey, I'm gonna go date. I met a fat rich white lady in the suburbs. I'm gonna go date her. And I know people think that I'm hating, and I it sounds like I am, and I acknowledge that. But here's the thing, right? This is the point I want to ask, and I'll let you take over from here, Jeff. At what point does it become about more than just the money? I get it. People are like, yeah, well, of course, $5 million versus $300,000. Who would do it? I mean, at what point do you just say, yeah, the money's good? Yeah, like I could, like for example, I run the Black Business School. Do you know how much more money I could make if I did what many of my students did and I went to Wall Street instead? I have former students that make $500,000 a day. I mean, at what point do we stop just saying, well, it's the money, man, it's the money? And it really, if anybody was able to overlook the money, it should be a person like a Deion Sanders who already has the money. If you got the money, then the money can't be the only motive. Right? Well, I get it if you broke and you struggling and you ain't never had a nickel in your life. That makes sense. But when you have this legendary career, when you've allegedly made $100 million or more, it makes me wonder, what's his financial situation? Like, does he have other investments and assets? Because I tell you what, if when I'm teaching Black people, the money really isn't the number one driver because, I already have some wealth and I'm okay with the money I have. You can't really buy me. Like I'm in this seat. You can't buy me out of this seat. Harvard University couldn't buy me out of this seat. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's how a lot of people are feeling. So you add the fact that there's the money thing, and then there's the thing that there's the perspective that people say that he used Jackson State. Like he got a lot out of being, because the thing is, Deion Sanders got a lot. Like we know, and I talked about the impact he's made on HBCUs, the SWAC, Jackson, and Jackson State itself. But Prime got a lot out of being here at Jackson State too. Like let's not get it twisted. Like he got a whole lot out of being the head coach. Now, maybe all of it wasn't monetarily, but as you see that he's able to level up, well, in his mind, level up and go to Colorado and go from $300,000 to $5 million. But also this, like, here's the thing. Deion Sanders says he has a son named Shador, and Shador is a good quarterback. And Prime coached Shador since he was like 8 years old. It's almost like having a son that's a prodigy. He felt like Shador was like the prodigy son. And so he coached him from youth league all through high school. And as Shador was gearing to graduate from high school, that's when Prime said, I want to get into the college game and to coach my son in college. And so he tried to get with Florida State. They didn't want him. Then he had a really, really good interview at Arkansas when Arkansas had an opening. And I think they interviewed him twice, I want to say. And he did really, really good. They thought he might have a chance to get in the job, really thought like the job was his. But at the end of the day, they went a different direction. They chose a man named Sam Pittman, who had been coaching in college. He was an assistant at Georgia. So they went with him. And so then that's when Ashley Robinson, the athletic director at Jackson State, found out that Prime didn't get the Arkansas job, but that he was looking to get into college coaching. And then that's when the information got exchanged, and boom, he's the head coach of Jackson State. And so folks will say, well, and then obviously what happened? His prodigy son Shador comes to Jackson State and becomes that prodigy, one of the best players in the school history at the end of the day, has records and all kinds of stuff in just 2 short years. And so people will say, well, he used Jackson State because, like you said, Florida State, no job. Arkansas, no job. And even if he would have gotten those jobs, he would have been more like a traditional coach at jobs like those. What I mean by that, meaning he wouldn't have been out posting videos every single day, dancing with the rap music with a bunch of black people in the background partying with them. You know why? Because they don't have the black people at those places. Yeah, you go to Arkansas, it might be 50, 60, 70,000 people. Like, yeah, you have the black athletes, but you don't have the black aura. You don't have the black culture. You're not surrounded by black people each and every single day like he is here in Jackson, Mississippi, whether he's going to the grocery store, whether he's walking around campus, whether he's at the game. Like at the game today, there will be 60,000 brothers and sisters, like meaning melanated folks in the stands. It's not going to be like that at Boulder, Colorado. It wouldn't have been like that at Florida State or at Arkansas. So that is why Jackson State gave like it was like a glove, because Deion, his whole career and his whole like public life has been like the ultimate black experience as an athlete. And then he goes to a black school that gives him the ultimate black experience as a coach. But also what it did was it allowed him to audition